The desert is not just a vast wasteland of empty sand. It is a giant graveyard where ancient history goes to die. For thousands of years, shifting dunes have swallowed cities, erased map coordinates, and hidden secrets that humanity was never meant to find. When travelers look at the endless horizons of the Sahara or the empty quarter, they only see a burning, lifeless void. But beneath the scorching heat waves and centuries of compressed dust, something colossal is waiting, buried deep within the Earth's crust. Welcome back. Today, we are crossing forbidden borders to uncover the terrifying truth behind the myth of the desert titan. A mechanical god of legendary proportions, lost beneath a sea of sand that no modern explorer has ever successfully mapped out. What kind of civilization possessed the forbidden technology to construct a moving fortress as massive as a mountain range? Why did this ultimate weapon of war suddenly stop marching, allowing itself to be entombed by the desert winds? Some ancient texts claim it was cursed by the heavens, while others whisper that it went to sleep voluntarily. But the truth, buried beneath layers of baked clay and ancient gold, is far more terrifying than any campfire ghost story. To uncover the origin of the desert titan, our historical analysis must journey back to the lost empire of Solis. Long before modern history began, Solis was an advanced civilization that learned to harness the raw, blinding power of the sun. The Desert Titan was their crowning achievement, built not as a weapon of aggression, but as a supreme, immortal guardian. According to cryptographic tablets found in deep desert caves, this titan was powered by a relic known as the solar core. The solar core was a miniature, controlled star trapped inside a cage of reinforced obsidian, generating endless power for the machine. With the titan standing guard, the empire of Solis ruled the continent, completely untouched by enemies for 5 glorious centuries. A single step of this mechanical giant could trigger localized earthquakes, and its heavy breath could summon devastating, blinding sandstorms. The people of Solis worshipped it as a physical deity, a sun god forged from brass, gold, and indestructible black iron. However, the golden age of any civilization always ends when human hubris overrides their common sense and caution. The final high priest of Solis, driven mad by the desire for immortality, attempted to merge his soul with the solar core. He wanted to achieve godhood by downloading his consciousness directly into the central processing unit of the mountain titan. He envisioned himself ruling the world forever, using the machine to burn away any civilization that refused to bow down. But a mortal mind, filled with greed and fear, could never handle the infinite, cosmic data flow of a miniature star. The fusion process failed instantly, fracturing the priest's mind and corrupting the core operating system of the giant guardian. Our deep dive investigation now enters its darkest phase, the scorched night, the day the empire of Solis fell. The titan, now possessed by the fractured, agonizing mind of the mad priest, turned its apocalyptic weapons upon its own creators. The defensive walls of the capital city melted into glass under the intense thermal lasers fired from the Titan's eyes. It marched through the metropolis for 7 days, trampling palaces, vaporizing rivers, and turning a lush paradise into a desert. But if this solar-powered monster was truly invincible and omnipotent, why did it end up buried under the sand dunes? Satellite imagery and subterranean radar scans have recently revealed a shocking tactical detail about the final battlefield. Surrounding the final resting place of the Titan are the calcified remains of thousands of giant, subterranean sand serpents. These were the primordial monsters of the deep earth, creatures that lived in the dark spaces beneath the desert sands. Disturbed by the intense heat and vibrations of the rampaging Titan, the ancient serpents rose from the depths to retaliate.
A titanic war erupted between the ultimate pinnacle of solar technology and the ancient, brutal monsters of the Earth. The serpents knew they couldn't break the Titan's brass armor, so they swarmed its legs, dragging it down the Titan sank, a group of surviving Solis engineers initiated a desperate suicidal override command from a hidden bunker. They triggered a localized EMP blast within the core, causing the solar core to vent its energy inward and freeze. The massive machine instantly lost power, becoming a lifeless mountain of iron as the sand serpents dragged it under. The empire of Solis was completely erased. The serpents retreated back into the deep earth, and the Titan was forgotten. Until thousands of years later, when modern nomadic tribes began reporting strange metallic groans echoing across the empty dunes. During intense solar eclipses, compasses in the deep desert fail completely, and thermal cameras detect massive underground heat signatures. Many nomads believe the spirit of the mad priest is still screaming inside the rusted cockpit of the machine. Others warn that the Titan's cooling systems are failing, and the solar core is slowly beginning to warm up again. So, what is the ultimate reality? Let us analyze the community's 3 most terrifying secret theories. The first theory suggests the Titan didn't stop because it lost power, but because it was terraforming the planet. Look closely at the geography of the global desert belts. They all align perfectly with the historical marching path of the Titan. The machine was intentionally burning the soil, turning fertile land into sand to create a perfect habitat for something else. If this theory is true, the Desert Titan is an alien vanguard machine, preparing Earth for an invasion of silicon-based life forms. The second theory is much closer to home and far more dangerous. A global shadow government has found the bunker. Declassified military intelligence leaks show that a secret excavation project has been operating in the deep desert since 2022. Engineers are using modern cybernetic interfaces to bypass the ancient security locks, trying to hotwire the solar core. They want to weaponize the Titan's thermal lasers, integrating orbital satellite arrays with the ancient machine's targeting systems. It would create a weapon capable of vaporizing an entire country from across the globe. But can they control it? The third theory relies on a highly classified, corrupted data file found in an abandoned military research facility. The Titan isn't a machine at all. The brass and iron plates are actually a cage designed to keep something inside. The Solis Empire didn't build the Titan. They trapped a dying star god inside a mechanical shell to harvest its energy. The madness of the High Priest was actually the star god's consciousness breaking through, trying to shatter its iron prison. The sand serpents weren't attacking the Titan. They were worshippers of the star god, trying to dig their deity out. Now, buried in the dark, the containment fields are deteriorating, and the star god is about to break its chains. 3 distinct theories, 3 terrifying perspectives, but they all point to one unavoidable conclusion. The clock is ticking. The Desert Titan represents the dangerous point where extreme, uncontrolled technology meets the destructive forces of the universe. Every time humanity attempts to dig up powers that belong to the gods, we invite our own total annihilation. The silent dunes are a graveyard of coins, left behind by ancestors who learned the hard way about absolute power. For now, the Desert Titan remains hidden beneath the shifting sands, a silent monument to a dead world. But the winds of the desert are changing, blowing faster and hotter than they ever have in recorded history. Deep space monitoring stations have just detected a massive burst of solar radiation reflecting from beneath the desert floor. It is not an echo of the sun above. It is a signal coming from deep underground. The solar core has achieved critical mass, and the internal systems are booting up for the first time in millennia. The sand dunes are starting to shift upward, forming a massive silhouette against the burning desert sky. Will modern civilization possess the strength to stop a solar god when it finally stands up to claim its empire? Or will our cities suffer the same fate as Solis, becoming the next layer of desert sand? The truth is rising with the heat waves, and the answers will soon be written in ash and fire. Thank you for traveling across the burning sands with me today. Which theory do you think holds the true answer? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss our next deep dive into history's darkest mysteries.